All right, this is my 1975 GL1000 Goldwing. Spring of 2020, we're all cooped up with COVID-19, and this is just me getting ready to, well, have it on the road this year. This is where it was parked in the fall. It was running. Just put, well, hasn't been put away yet, but we're done that for the year. Now it's time for this. Just a quick tour of the bike. The 650 is behind there. That's got some work to do this year too. Bought this bike and another bike about 3 years ago. Spent 2 years getting them on the road. Lots of little things done. Obviously the major things, getting it running, that kind of thing. A little bit of customization. White bodywork. This is the cover for the 650. I've got to figure out a decal for it. Lost it on the highway last year. Side cover for the Goldwing. Goes right here. Battery's out. It's in the basement. That's actually a 650 fender. It was on the parts bike that I bought for the 650. Timing belts have been done. They were done 2 years ago. Valve covers have been painted and cleaned up and painted. Runners have been polished a little bit, mostly just cleaned up. Carbs have been rebuilt, gone through. They are working pretty well. I'm going to sync them this year. It has a electronic ignition. Cannot remember the name of it. It's not a Dynatech. It is something else. I'll have to look it up. Harley Sportster exhaust. Obviously things are a little dusty. First thing I probably have to do once it's a little warmer, it's a little cool in the garage today. I have a little bit of a fuel leak coming right from the top here. You can see I did try to do a little bit of RTV. I will clean that up and I will put JB welder on it. It was leaking right around the edge here, and I will clean that up. Only leaked when it was a full tank, so I haven't been keeping a full tank in it for the rest of the year. Probably first thing on the order is change those shocks. Those are not for this bike. They are FVQ adjustable. No idea where they're from, but they are about 1 inch too long. So I do have a pair of shocks, and we'll take a look at them now. Bought these this year. They are an MGO bushings. There. I'll try them out. If they are good, then that's a good thing. If they are not, then buy something else. They weren't that expensive. They are about the right height based on the other bike I had. They're a 2-spring design. Don't really know how that's going to go, but you can tell they are shorter eye to eye. So those are lined up about there, about right. Maybe that's a little better. And they are about 1 inch shorter. So that'll be the first thing. Okay, that was more of a pain in the ass than I thought, but it's in there. Had to use a little bit of spacers, drill those out a little bit, because that bushing is slightly narrow. But I like the way it fits. It definitely brought up the back end. One of the problems I was having is, you can tell that this axle, or this part of the axle, is really close to the muffler. And now it's actually brought up where it should be. And it obviously will come up a little bit more when you're sitting on the bike. I'll adjust this a little bit and put it in the middle, see what it does. This bike had saddlebags on it, and I will be putting those on next. Mounting point up here for one of the brackets, mounting point off here for another one. Those are the ones that I took off. The reason I took them off is they were cracking. And I have an older set which I'll show another time. Have them set to middle position. See what that like once the snow melts and get on the road. But definitely brought the axle up. Quite a bit more space there. And I'm happy with that. There's supposed to be fairly stiff shocks from everything I've read online, which is good. I'm okay with that. This bike is lighter weight than it used to be. And I can always soften them up if I need to. So that's why I wanted to set them at the middle. So what's next? This is going to get replaced. It's cut short and it's just done really crudely. This is obviously a eBay tail light. Works fine. eBay signal lights, they work fine as well. I might be relocating those or putting them into the saddlebags themselves, because here are the saddlebags. Obviously I got a part spike here, but that's what I'll be putting on there. And they do have the rear signal, or at least a marker light that I could make into a signal. And because it's going to be a bagger, there's the rear fender that I'm going to use, not that tail light. I will take that apart sometime, make sure it's all good, test fit it, see what it looks like, hold the bags up, that kind of thing. You can tell I got a bit of a part stash here and some spray painting. There's the parts bike. Bent valve on that engine, so timing belt skipped about 3 cogs. When I actually picked it up, I asked the guy to make sure it turned over, and the kickstart basically slipped the timing belts, so it was done from the time I picked it up. But I might take those cams at some point in time. So I think that's it for today. Obviously got a lot of extra parts, some crap to clean up, but good for now, and do something when it's nice again in the garage.